exciting day at Liberty Baptist Church. We are here again at the Spirit of Liberty broadcast, and this particular episode is going to hopefully be a special one. It is up to you. We are not as prepared as we normally are to just give you all a bunch of great content like we normally try to do. We are depending on the audience today. And so make sure, looks like we're having issues with that camera. Make sure you help us out today. And this is your chance to be a part of the show. This is your chance to contribute. And what we are looking for today is our listeners to call in. Tell us what you think about the show. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you hate. Tell us what you would like to see. We are a program that is constantly changing, adding things to what we do.
We ain't changing.
We change on the program, not as a church. Okay. No suggestions for how we run our church and how we preach. Only for the Spirit of Liberty. We are evolving there. But yeah, in church, we ain't changing. So don't even bring that up. And we would like your help on that. So the phone number for the program is 815-201-1192, I believe. So I believe the phone number is in the description, should be coming up on the screen, and we would like for you to call and tell us what you think. Tell us, maybe mention where you're going to church today. I know everyone that's listening to this is on their way to church, and so we would like, if you want to share that information, you can. Or if you just want to text, maybe you're bashful and you do not want your voice being heard by millions in the entire world, we'll just take a text message from you.
Yeah, just know, I can't think of a more famous podcast, more famous, anything in regards to a church. So if you call in this show, you'll probably go viral just for the fact that you called in.
Probably.
So at the same time, if there's anyone out there that wants a huge bump in their YouTube subscribers or Facebook friends or anything like that, just your name and your voice on this show will probably make you famous.
Probably. We're like the recovering fundamentalists. You attach yourself to us, that's just instant fame and glory. We're that full of ourselves just as they are. But anyway, so we've got some of our regular program things that we're wanting to do today, assuming we have time. But again, we would like to hear from you. Don't be ashamed to call in and let us know what you think. I have given my personal phone number out, and these people are able to call too, to some of the people that I have gone after on the show and given them a chance to call in and kind of have the last word. And I really want these people to take me up on this. I will be nice to you. If I have been mean to you on this show, and I've been mean to a lot of people, I think they all deserve it, but I could be wrong. And so if they want to call in and tell me where I'm wrong, they are more than welcome to do that, and we will not chew them out. All right, you have immunity from that today. So I would really like to see that. And then also just a little promo on Tuesday. I don't know if we're going to do this live yet, but some individuals that we went after on the show, I'm going to be doing a discussion with them. We might do it live, and we are going to talk about some of the differences between the trendies and the old paths crowd, and we're going to try to have a friendly conversation about that. And I feel like I owed them that opportunity since, what I said on the show about them was pretty mean. They probably did not completely deserve that. And so I will give my explanation. It was misunderstood. It did come across way worse than what I intended. And so we'll air that out in there. But I'm going to be recording that with them on Tuesday. We might do it live. I'm not 100% sure yet. I got to check on a couple of things, but make sure you are watching everything for that, because that should be good. But that is the Church Split podcast is what it's known as, and I would definitely put them in the camp, in the trendy camp for sure. And so
they're the next man up after the recovering fundamental.
Right. So and if if I put you in the trendy camp, there's a whole bunch of stereotypes that, I kind of throw at you. And, and that's the thing too. When I talk about trendies, there's a ton, just kind of like how, they kind of broad brush the old paths crowd. We probably do some of that too. So we're going to talk about some of these areas where we defer and everything. And I think it should make for a really interesting conversation. I think it will be very edifying, and maybe not, but we'll see what happens. But hopefully that will be coming on Tuesday. So anyway, let's go ahead and go to our preaching clip of the week. And I knew I was going to forget to do this. The pastor, I forgot the name of the pastor. It's Pastor Valdez. I forgot his first name. He is from Faith Baptist Church in Wildemar, California, I believe I think it's Faith Baptist. He's a Spanish pastor. He's preaching English, but this is one that was sent in. This is another cool thing about the show. You all are a part of the producers of the content of the show. You all help us find these things and send them to us. And so understand, we might slip in a heretic every now and then because we don't always know who these people are. But if we like the clip, we play it. And so if you ever see a Ruckmanite or something on here, it was an accident, but we don't always know who everybody is. But you know what? We're covered because we have our disclaimer. Mm-hmm. And so therefore, we can kind of do whatever we want. And if we mess up, it's all right. We have a disclaimer. So let's go ahead and roll the preaching clip of the week.
The preacher featured on this clip is not necessarily endorsed by Pastor McMurtry or the Spirit of Liberty broadcast, nor does the preacher being featured necessarily endorse this broadcast or Pastor McMurtry. The makers of the Spirit of Liberty broadcast just heard this clip and thought,
"That's good preaching."
John, the beloved apostle, in 1 John chapter 2 and verse 6, said this. I like Brother John. I guarantee he was no sissy, but sure was full of love. You and I think that having love makes you a sissy. Oh, what an idiot you are. For God so loved the world. You call Jesus a sissy? Can you endure what he endured? It's just having clear perspective, the nature, the existence, the person of God. Folks, I'm trying to say to you, we have a wonderful God. How wonderful of a God is he? John seemed to have comprehended that and understood that. And he says in 1 John chapter 2 and verse 6, he says the following. He that saith, he abideth in him, that's in Jesus, ought himself also to what? So to walk even as he walked. Or we all say, well, I know God. I have a personal relationship with God. And you know what? Our walk reveals in reality whether we do or we do not. There's a lot of good people that have taken a detour, that are convinced that they love God, but they've forgotten they took a detour. And we're not walking. We're not so walking even as he walked. Boy, what a key statement right there. God used John to pin down. If we say that we abide in Christ, we ought to so walk as he walked. It's like him going before us and leaving the imprints of his feet and us walking behind, trying to do it exactly the way that he's doing it. Amen. Amen. Don't give me man's Christianity. Give me Christ Christianity. I'm sick and tired of this pamsy-wamsy man's Christianity. We need more of Christ Christianity. We ought to walk even as he walked.
That's good preaching.
All right, that was Pastor Mike Valdez, and good clip there. If the video was weird, that wasn't our fault. That was just the way the video looked. That was not technical difficulties on our end. We're doing everything good. It was just kind of a weird quality on the video. But the reason I like the point he made there is, we're supposed to follow Christ in his steps, and like following the imprints. And the point that he made on there that I really liked was that, the following in his steps, everybody says we should do that, but then the way they describe his steps, the way they describe Jesus, does not fit what we see in the Bible.
Not at all.
And so I like the point that he made, because that's when he's talking about this pansy-whamsy Christianity, and it's this, all soft, effeminate, just love everybody, nobody's bad, I don't judge anything type of thing. And that's what man has turned Jesus into. But no, actually following in his steps means you're going to act like Jesus actually did in the Bible. And so, great point there. So appreciate preaching there. Did I say Wildemar, Kansas, or it's Wildemar, California?
It's California.
For some reason.
You said California.
Did I say California? I thought I said Kansas. So, yes, California. So appreciate that clip. So send those in. Otherwise, I got to go listen to a whole bunch of sermons and try to find something good. And I like I like getting clips, too, from people I don't know. I like finding out about different people out there and stuff. And then, too, we like to give these people the privilege of being featured on the show, even though I don't even think most of them know they're ever on it. We should probably send them some kind of certificate.
They just get a huge certificate, make it like an extravagant thing. Like
a full-blown plaque or something.
You've received the highest honor that any Baptist preacher could ever receive. You were featured on the Spirit of Liberty.
There we go. There we go.
That'd be fantastic.
So yes, all right, people, don't be afraid to call us in. All right, I'm seeing there's like 40 some people all watching right now, and y'all are. I know. Said. It's intimidating.
You just got done
listening in front of a crowd.
You just got done listening to a clip about these pansy Christians that, they don't have courage.
Right. Yeah, and if you're one of the people I've been trying to get to call in, that we have talked negatively about, please call.
Mm-hmm.
I will be nice. If somebody will actually do this, if somebody will actually take me up on it, it will open the floodgates for all those who I have wronged because I've lost track of it, to come and, set things straight, and they will have no fear of repercussions. But somebody's got to break the ice and give me that opportunity, because I don't want this program to be like a lot of the programs and podcasts out there where they just misrepresent people, just trash talk, act like a bunch of punks, and then they don't let you respond after they misrepresent you. Okay, and I'm thinking about a bunch of trendies right now, and I think that's just poor testimony. I think it's weak. I think it's lame. And then they act like we're trying to use them to get a following. It's like, well, you're the one bringing up my name all the time, to make yourselves look good. So, here's your chance. If you're so right, you should be able to talk about these things in front of me.
Yeah, there's a lot of these little underlings on Twitter that I'm not going to name their names so they don't get invited on the show, because I know what they are, and they just want some notoriety, and they want those guys to recognize them. So they'll go after you and guys like Pastor Reeves and everything and try to act really cool and like, oh, I'm going to trash this guy. And it's cool. Here's a tip if you ever get on Twitter and interact with these people. It's cool to trash fundamental Baptist pastors. It's not cool to criticize in any way, shape, or form any of the recovering fundamentalist guys.
Right.
If you do that, you're not qualified.
Yeah.
You're bad. You've got a bad spirit.
Yep.
But you can do anything or say anything you want about any fundamental Baptist pastor in the world, and you're clear. But so these guys will go on there and they'll make fun of you. They'll make fun of Pastor Nathan Rager or any one of these guys.
Anyone who's not afraid to take it to
exactly. Them. Anyone that doesn't just roll over and give them what they want, they'll make fun of them, or they'll listen to all the stuff and then point out something that they disagree with and make a big deal about it and literally have a meltdown, an adult tantrum on Twitter. And then that gets them a following. And the thing is, it works. These people fall for it all the time. That community is growing all together. And they're just lifting one another up to just bash good pastors all across the country.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, and it does work. And the bigger names and voices in that group, they they are careful about how much they say because they don't want to look too bad. But a lot of the people too that do their dirty work for them are like anonymous accounts too. And then they're the ones that just take it to another level. And it really is just a very wicked group, and their fruit is very wicked. And, some of us pointed out where a lot of guys are scared of it. And speaking of scared IFB, let's go ahead and talk about for a little bit. And folks, please call in, all right? Don't be bashful. Y'all are so y'all don't need to be afraid. But let's talk about what's going on. I don't know if we're going to do our We Ain't Changing segment today. I have a really good one, but I'm kind of wanting to devote a show to this.
Needs a whole episode.
Yeah, I put this together a couple days ago, and it was on the subject of reaching out to the trend of reaching out to the LGBT community to try to get them in your church. And of course, we reject that. Okay,
100%.
Yeah, we don't reach out to them; we reject them. And of course, First Works Baptist just got bombed by a bunch of freaks, that were planning on having a freak tranny parade in front of their church today, and with their promoting their Keep El Monte Safe
by bombing churches.
Yeah, Keep El Monte Safe program, and these same clowns went and bombed a church.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
And here's the thing that's even more sick than a bunch of homos with reprobate minds coming together to do something like that to a church is the politics in the IFB don't allow anybody to speak up and say, hey, I stand with First Works Baptist Church because, well, he's new IFB, or I don't like exactly how he says the stuff about the homos, so I can't say anything in support of him. And that's disgusting. I mean, honestly, that's worse than what the homos did themselves. To the point that we're at today, that someone can literally have their church spray painted and vandalized with filthy garbage all over, and then literally try to actually blow the place up with a bomb at 1 a.m. And Baptists have just kind of given the cold shoulder and pretended like nothing's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That is sick.
Well, and the thing is, a lot of these Baptists, back when the Orlando shooting happened,
they did the same thing.
Well, no, I'm talking about they were saying pray for Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when it was homos that got shot up, whenever any place gets bombed, and the world's all unites
unbelievable
against it, the trendies are the first ones to come out and pray for this and hashtagging all those things. But whenever it happens to a fundamental Baptist, even if they are a little more extreme on their position than you still shouldn't support bombing them.
It burns me up, man.
And the thing is, it's like, whenever homos are attacked, you don't put the disclaimers out there when you're saying pray for Orlando and things like that. They don't put any of those disclaimers out there. They quickly stand up and they condemn all those things. They don't put, I don't agree with the LGBT lifestyle, but no, they quickly do that. But then when it comes to things like this, if they say anything, they've got to put a whole bunch of disclaimers out there. And I think that's a shame. I think it's embarrassing. And maybe we might play we might do the We Ain't Changing clip. But
no, we need to wait.
I think it would be. I think we need to save a whole program for it because there is a lot of junk going on. But we've got a call coming in, so let us see who we have here. Hello, you're on the Spirit of Liberty broadcast.
Awesome. My name's Chris Sylvius. I have a question.
Okay.
All the Baptist churches in my local area are like a part of the Southern Baptist Convention, so I'm wondering if there's like a way out. I live in Claremore, Oklahoma.
In Claremore, Oklahoma?
I need a local church to go to, but these are like wicked churches. They have bad mission statements. None of them are KJV only. I really don't know what to do.
Well, I mean, I would first off just try to visit everyone you can. I would think in Oklahoma, there's got to be something in driving distance that's decent. I don't know Oklahoma real well, but I would recommend going on some websites that are, I can't think of what they are, but if you just search like Independent Fundamental Baptist Directory, there's a few different ones that'll come up, and some of them are specific. They have to be King James. There's another website, militarygetsaved.com, that has listings of churches, and then it has a lot of information on there as far as their position on things, and it'll say if it's King James or not King James only. And I really recommend those websites. I use those pretty much anytime I'm traveling somewhere and I'm looking for a church to find. And I've always been, pretty happy with what I found. When we took a trip to Branson, we've been to Branson a few different times, and we've tried a different church every time. And, we've always found decent churches that way. Last year we found a church. We were traveling on a Sunday and found one in Indiana. It was a good church. So yeah, I would check out those websites, and I'm sure there's somebody out there that could, one of those that can help you out. So try militarygetsaved.com, but I recommend, I just don't know the exact website. There's some IFB, KJV church directories. If you look those up, those are very helpful. And I definitely think you'll find something decent, especially in Oklahoma. There's a lot of Baptist churches in Oklahoma. So
mainly militarygetsaved.com, is that the main website you go to?
That's not the main one I go to. That's just the only one I know the actual website. The one I go to is if you search Independent Fundamental KJV directory, it's going to be like the first thing that comes up.
Yeah.
I see it all. I search for it all the time, and I always find there's like two different ones, but both of them are really good. So
they got Shelley up in Oklahoma City. I would really love to go down there sometime. But
how far are you from there?
Yeah, really thank you for your help, though.
Okay. Well, great. Well, hey, thank you for calling in. Do you have any recommendations for our show? We're looking for help. Is there anybody we need to kick off the show? Is there anything we need to add? We're looking for suggestions.
The only ones I've watched are the ones that you did with Matt Powell. I really like their creation science stuff.
Oh, good.
Cool.
Good. So, all right. So they like guests that are smarter than the rest of us. So, well, all right. Well, hey, thank you so much for calling. God bless you. We'll see you later. All right.
Yep. God bless. Bye.
Excellent. All right. So he broke the ice. Somebody broke the ice, called in. All right. Looking for suggestions for the show. Don't ask me too many hard questions or anything right now. It's too early in the morning for me to think. But we'll take questions if you have them. But we want your help today. Tell us what you like. Okay, he liked Matt Powell. Unfortunately, we can't get him here every week, but we know somebody liked it out there, so we did good there. But anyway, call in, even just send a text, and that will be a blessing to us. So what were we talking about before?
We're talking about the stuff going on at First Works and people not giving them support.
Right, yeah. So again, the fear in churches today, and again, just because of differences that really aren't that major. No. You know what I'm saying? It's at the end of the day, and on that, man, maybe I really think I need to play that We Ain't Changing segment today, because on there too, one of the things I show an article where the Southern Baptist Convention is getting criticized for being anti-LGBT. Now, every fundamental Baptist would agree that they are way too easy on the homos, but yet it's not enough for these implacable people.
Yeah, it's not.
And anything, I mean, if you are just against gay marriage, in fact, one of the news things was saying it was just because of the gay marriage thing. So we got another call coming in. Hello, welcome to the Spirit of Liberty. Who is this?
Frank Medina.
All right, well, thanks for calling in. What do you have for us today?
I just had a question about just, how, what's the opinion that they have on, America being Babylon? You know how some Christians out there are kind of obsessed with trying to find somebody other than America being Babylon, and do they think that may be coming from their loyalty toward, the American way of life versus that America could never be this future Babylon?
I think you nailed it right there. Is if America's Babylon, then we probably shouldn't be going as crazy praising it like a lot of people do. And so when you our church, like we saw last week, where you got guys marching around with American flags and singing the patriotic songs, and you got the politicians coming in, and you're doing all that junk, the last thing you want to do is say that it's Babylon, because then you're going to think of that verse where it says, "Come out of her, my people," and you probably shouldn't be singing praises about a great whore and flying her flag in your church and things like that. And and again, I get some of the patriotic stuff. Some people have a mindset of earlier days when America was a better place. So I'm not really down on that. But at some point, I think everybody's going to come to the conclusion, if they're decent, that America's crossed the line somewhere. And it's time that we separate a lot of this stuff from religion and, from our church. And so, we retired our American flag in the auditorium, several years back, and I still love the country and everything, but I can't support what it's doing. So I think you hit the nail on the head right there on why they're so against that idea, and it's because they want to keep proclaiming Americanism stuff in the pulpit, supporting the Republican Party, all that kind of stuff, and so I think there's kind of a blind bias going on. Does that make sense?
Yep, I totally agree.
Okay.
Yes, very, very much.
Well, great. So, where are you at?
Right now, I'm in close to Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay, cool. Way down south. Well, hey, I appreciate you calling in. Hope the show's a blessing to you. Any recommendations for our show?
I would say if you can get a lot more guest preachers on there.
Okay. How did you see the one? Yeah. So we've done the ones where we've had them in studio, which is hard. But yeah, we did. Did you get to see the one where he had somebody on virtually with us?
Yes, I saw a couple of those. I also saw when you had like Paul Wittenberg and Matt Powell, which I always thought those interactions are really, really great. That it just keeps the dialogue going. It's really fun to watch that. Quarterback and Q&As and. It just entertains. It's very entertaining.
Good. Well, all right. Well, hey, thank you so much for your input. Thanks for calling in. We'll talk to you later.
Okay. God bless.
God bless. Bye. Yeah, I would like to do more with virtual guests. So it's hard getting people physically here all the time.
Yeah.
The problem with the virtual guests too, though, is Sunday mornings are really hard.
Sunday morning's hard, and especially just our time zone.
Right.
We're like right in the middle,
Yeah.
where it's too close to church for the East Coast guys,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty early for anyone we
Right.
have on the West Coast.
Exactly.
To get on here.
Yeah, if you get a West Coast guy, it's gonna be like 7:00 in the morning
Right.
there. They're not gonna feel like, being on a live program.
Get to church literally like 4 hours early.
Right. Yeah.
That'd be.
So, yeah, I understand that. Well, all right, we got another call coming in. Hello, you're on the Spirit of Liberty broadcast.
Hi, good day. It's Pastor Tommy.
This is him. Who's this?
Hi there. It's Thomas. It's Thomas. I'm phoning you from South Africa.
Oh, wow, all the way from South Africa. Well, great. Hey, thanks for calling in. How are things over there?
No, it's late in the afternoon, yeah. So I'm listening to your show before I start watching all the sermons online, which is a great blessing.
Wonderful. What time is it over there?
It's just gone after 5 in the afternoon.
Oh, okay. Well, great. So, do you have a good church you're able to go to over there in South Africa?
No, unfortunately not. So we do online. We watch all the online sermons, and I've got a few friends that we fellowship with, and that's it. Yep. Unfortunately, it's very much Calvinist country with or happy tap churches. So that's your choice.
Oh man, Calvinism is a nasty cancer.
Yeah, it is.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I grew up in the Dutch Reformed Church, so I'm Afrikaans speaking. So that's where it comes from.
Wow. Well, great. Well, hey, so what do you think about the program? Any suggestions? People seem like they're liking guests so far. What do you think?
I'd just like to make a point. I've been following recently the developments Pastor Mandy Perry is a good friend of mine. He hunted on our farm here in South Africa, and it saddens me the infighting and the name calling in the IFB. And I've met Pastor Gray personally as well, and I found him a good man and honest man. He helped us. Actually, we had a problem at our previous church, and he was a pastor he sent out, and the whole thing blew up. And he came out, he flew out all the way, and he looked after us. And I just think it's so unnecessary. All of what's been happening, the fight is out there, and it actually breaks my heart to see the infighting. And we've got a group of soul winners also in South Africa, and they're fighting amongst themselves because people are taking sides. You know, and that's just to me that's terrible.
Yeah, well, here, the thing that people need to understand is we don't always know everything that's going on in situations. I mean, it's really it's hard for me in the United States to judge what's going on between two different churches in two different states, and they're over there in a completely different country. At the end of the day, what people need to learn to go off of is their own experience. And obviously, if a friend of mine or another pastor says something, if I have a respect for their opinion, I'm going to take those things into consideration. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to what I've experienced myself, what I've seen, seen for myself. And a lot of people often they will throw out what they know, what they've seen, just based on what somebody else has told them, and they think what somebody else tells them to think. And so, it's okay for you to say, you know what, I'm just not seeing it. Therefore, I'm gonna stay out of this, and I'm gonna form my opinions based on what I've experienced. And so, if your experience has been good, if what you have seen has been good, then you know what, you can keep thinking good on your end, and you can take what other people say into consideration, but there's a lot of things that we don't see. And so I know it is hard for a lot of people that are seeing these things, and I wish I could somehow.
I got saved through Pastor Anderson's preaching. I mean, 10 years ago, and I met Pastor Perry as well along the way. I went soul winning with him. And for other people to call him then, unsaved is just crazy. It's just mad. I mean, you can disagree with with viewpoints that you have, but if you 100% scriptural. And I don't understand why all this name calling. Well, it does no good for the cause of Christ. So it's just sad to see that.
Yeah, I understand, but I appreciate it. And that's why one of the reasons too, I've adopted this policy on this program of, if I talk about you on this program, you're invited on the program, because then I won't talk about anybody unless they've really got it coming. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, a lot of times there's just more to things that meet the eye. In the online world, it's so easy for things to be misunderstood. There's so much that you don't see. And, I mean, obviously, I wish I could find a way to make everybody give each other a big, do a big group hug and make up.
I'll just read you this one quote from Matthew Henry, and he sums it up very nicely. It says, "In things necessary, let there be unity. In things unnecessary, let there be liberty. And in both, let there be charity, that we may have a conscience void of offense towards God." And I think that sums it up amongst the brethren. Have liberty, but where it's necessary, have unity. But where it's not necessary, have liberty to make your own choice.
Right. Well, I think where this is a lot harder for people in other countries who are so starved for good Christian fellowship. When you're in a situation like you're in, I do think there's often a lot more grace, where in America, as IFB, we have a long history of fighting with each other and splitting, because if you break up friendship with one person, there's 5 other people you can go be friends with. In other countries, it's not like that. And so I think there is that stronger desire for unity. But we're pretty spoiled over here in America. And I think this is, one of the areas where we often show how spoiled we are. And yeah, but now I appreciate the call, and just keep praying, and
appreciate it.
so thank you so much, and we'll talk to you later. All right.
Thank you so much, sir. And just one more thing, if you can add more camp meeting videos, we'll really enjoy that.
Okay, camp meeting videos. I do want to do a special on the camp meeting sometime. So great. Well, hey, that's if you all are entertained by that, I promise you, I'm always entertained by it. So with that,
absolutely, it's a good laugh.
All right, thank you. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks, Pastor. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. Well, our public demands it. We need more camp meeting videos. I've seen some really good ones recently too, and there's the amount of material there for the camp meeting stuff is just endless. So I appreciate that suggestion. I like that idea. But so all the way in South Africa, and man, I do. It is one of the things that really blew my mind when I went to Ireland was just, and even since I've been back and communicating with these people through social media and stuff, I do enjoy a lot of the unity I see in a lot of these countries, with these soul winners that are getting together who they don't even a lot of times have churches that they can go to. And, I mean, I don't see everything that's going on over there, but it seems like things are pretty good over there. I don't see a lot of petty stuff going on. I think that's more of an American thing. That's like, I don't know. Maybe it's in every country. I mean, I guess that kind of stuff was going on in the Bible too. So I think it's just a human nature thing. Yeah. But it is often hard for people who they watch these pastors, and you get to know them, you get to love them, and then all of a sudden overnight they're bad guys, and it's just like they're not really buying it. And so
at the end of the day, when all you get to see is just sermons, you just watch sermons, then you're not going to know the full story on everything. And there's a lot more that meets the eye in every situation. So it's hard sometimes to figure that stuff out. And I could see the challenge being in another country, especially. When you're just going through, like that guy, I mean, he talked about he doesn't have a church, and you're just kind of watching like every single sermon that you can. And then all of a sudden you're listening to a sermon from one guy, and then you switch to the next channel and he's preaching against the guy of the sermon you just listened to. And you definitely fall out of the loop in terms of stuff like that.
And the thing is too, like how you feel about a subject too, doesn't necessarily mean you're right or wrong, but forgot where I was going with that. Got sidetracked. We got another phone call coming in. Let's go ahead and take this. Hello, you're on the Spirit of Liberty broadcast.
Hi, my name is Matt.
Hey.
Just calling to tell you guys that I really enjoy the show, and it's always nice to spend some time with you guys on the way to the show, or to church, I should say.
That's right. Well, that's kind of what this was intended for, why we did this time, to give somebody something to watch on their way to church. And so hopefully everybody's on your way to church, depending on where you're, depending on what time zone and things you're in. And but we appreciate Brother Matt and your contributions when you're on the show. So
absolutely
great. So
the one thing that I would say that would be would make the show better is, I know that there are many people that do Bible readings and even preaching that have never been on the show. I think there's only been 6 people that have been not special guests that have been on the show. But I think if we got to see a little bit more of a wide variety of the people in church, that it would be very beneficial.
Yeah, I do too. We need to get some of these guys just get up a little earlier.
Get on them, man.
Yeah. Maybe we'll start putting the pressure on them. But great. Well,
I think it's time.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for calling in. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. Yeah, hopefully, I should have asked them too. Hopefully everything's sounding good on the end too with the phone calls. But I know it's kind of late in the program to adjust anything on that now. But man, these phone calls, they're really throwing me off my game, because then I kind of get sidetracked on what I was going to talk about. I'm not used to focusing on 2 different things at one time. But one of the things that I would like to do on this program, another like little segment. But this is where I was thinking, if there's somebody out there in the audience world that maybe I shouldn't put this challenge out there, because if you do it and you do a really bad job, I'm not going to want to use it. But one segment I'd like to have every week is kind of like this week in the IFB, and like when like newsworthy things are happening somewhere in the IFB world, you know, good or bad, you know, we kind of cover that and talk about that weekly on the program. So for example, something newsworthy is like the bombing, you know, in California, that's specifically IFB. And, you know, there's other things too, you know, like when, you know, certain, you know, churches were getting shut down, fighting the government, you know, stuff that like made the news, or at least should make news.
Yeah.
You know, we could cover it on here. Like, even, like one thing too, I'm still mad about is that I don't know how this bombing at First Works isn't like on all the major news networks being talked about all the time.
I haven't seen it televised except for the local
Right.
LA news, but I did see pretty much every place has it. Like New York Times did an article,
Right.
CNN did an article, and everything. But I read the New York Times article, I was just fuming. I mean, literally, it was like the whole article's written out, and it's the headline is anti-LGBT article and anti-LGBT. I forgot that camera's dead. My bad. Everybody's like talking about, you know, everything, but the article was written in the way that it was like, well, it was their fault. You know?
Right.
They shouldn't have done this. They shouldn't have been talking about this. They're hateful people. They hate women. They hate Jews. They hate homos. And it's all their fault, you know. And someone happened to throw a bomb into their building, you know. And I see some people questioning what's going on. No one died. You know, this was while no one was there. But Pastor Bruce Mejia's church was vandalized. There was a bomb thrown into it, blew up. You know, so it's just a disaster. But it's so funny because if this had been anybody else, you know, anybody else, this would be mainstream, all over the place. You couldn't get your eyes off of it. I mean, even if there's just some church in the middle of nowhere that's got like 10 people in it, and someone goes in with a gun and just injures people, no one even dies, it's all over the news everywhere.
Yeah.
But yet this church that's been protested by homos for weeks now, that literally you've got the city getting signatures to try to run them out of town all over the place. They were going to host a transgender parade in front of their church building this Sunday. Sick people. Then all of a sudden they get bombed. This is a huge controversy going on. They were reporting on this before there was a bomb. And now we just can't talk about it anymore. It's their fault. They were bad. It's sick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just absolutely disgusting what the media has done.
Yeah. Well, it's more evidence that the news media is trash and garbage. That's all there is to it. I mean, they've already been busted flat out lying about the church when acting like they wouldn't take comments even before the bombing. So they're just dishonest. Anybody who falls for the news media, you know, deserves to be duped and deceived. And y'all know better. But man, we're out of time. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for everybody who called in. We might keep the call-in option open most of the time. I really wish some of the people I picked on would have called in. Y'all are keeping me from having this opportunity to show how gracious and kind I will be. I was even going to admit I was wrong if I was, and y'all didn't take me up on it. But on Tuesday, be watching. If we end up doing that live, if it works out, I'm hoping to maybe have a call-in portion of that. I don't know if we're going to be able to work this out, but if we do, I'm hoping it will embolden some of these people to call up if these other guys are on the program to kind of help defend them. That way, it's going to be harder for, you know, us in here to just, you know, we could all rally around each other and just attack them and stuff, and they're going to feel like they're in the minority. But if I've got other guys that are on their side on the program, then this is their chance. And let me tell you, with the trendies, I've been mean to a lot of them. And so this will be their chance. And I think it will be probably the most entertaining show we've ever had. I don't know if we're going to do it here. I might just have to do it from my office. I'm going to try to get everything worked out for it tomorrow. But if you're not subscribed to this channel, you want to be subscribed and you want to be paying attention to things on Tuesday. That's when we're going to record it and hopefully release that day too. I thought about doing the program where we split it up and then use it for our Sunday morning program, but I don't know. we'll see what happens. But the excitement is all here. So make sure you keep an eye on what's going on here, and hopefully everyone is on their way to church today. And if not, catch our live stream here in a little bit. And so anyway, God bless you. We will see you all next week.